Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back. Today we will be continuing Heaven's Feel. This video actually is being recorded really fast after the last one. I finally got around to recording quick again. Hopefully I can keep this up, but I am super excited to get started, man. I'm looking forward to getting back to Heaven's Feel. A lot of crazy stuff has been happening recently, and I want to see where all of this is leading, man. So let's go ahead and just jump right back into it. So this is right as we're getting ready to probably go mess some people up. We're going outside. We go outside, careful not to wake Sakura. It's 11 o'clock. We decided to start patrolling earlier to make up for yesterday. The town has continued to suffer while my guard was down after Castor's defeat. Castor's still alive and collecting energy from people. I have to defeat her for sure tonight. We're going back, so we might encounter Assassin. Or will he show himself? I don't know. Maybe we'll get some of the answers to what is the relationship between Assassin and Castor and Lancer now. We descend the hill to the intersection. The question is where to go from here.
Shiro, servantの気配です。
Ooh, do you?
それ近いのか、セイバー。
Would be out right now. I might just be dumb, but I'm drawing a blank. Like, Lancer's dead. Archer is wounded, maybe not anymore. Ryder is not toast anymore, right? So it could be Ryder again, which would be kind of insane. Could you imagine? It's just like, wait, I killed you already. How are you alive? I don't think... We're not close to the Ryoto Temple, so it's not Castor, Assassin, or Lancer. I doubt it would be Berserker. It possibly could be. For some reason, I just feel like it isn't Berserker. Could be, though. There's always the chance that it's Gilgamesh, too. Let's just move on. And we'll see, but... I think Castor, or not Castor, Ryder is the most interesting possibility.
距離的には問題ありません。シローの足を考慮しても全力で追跡すれば5分ほどで追いつけます。マスター、指示を。
Saber's asking me if we should follow them or stay here and keep watch. I don't even need to think about it.
行くぞ。先導してくれ、セイバー。
Man, he's so active in this route. I love it. He doesn't even need to think about it. He's killing people. Saber starts to run. She heads east. Seems she's heading to the big bridge connecting Miyama City and Shinto. Ooh, maybe not Ryder then. That seems where I'd expect Ryder. Or not where I'd expect... Well, actually... No. That's exactly where we got baited to last time, right? We fought them? So it could be the rematch. The instant I step into the park, the abnormal presence makes me feel like vomiting. The air is polluted here. The stench of rotten decay seeps into my nose. Ugh. My gastric juice is regurgitated just by standing here. The discomfort and the dizziness almost break my mind.
シロ、あれを。
I suppress my nausea and look. There.
ヘミヤ君?
Oh, hey, what's good, bro? That line didn't play. Tohsaka and Archer, with their backs to us.
どうやら新手が来たようじゃな。
Ooh, okay, Zouken's here. What are you doing here? And that old man, Mato Zouken. I understand the situation right away. Tohsaka's fighting Mato Zouken. I see dozens of something so small that I can't distinguish it around Tohsaka. Definitely bugs. Tohsaka's servant Archer has many more around him. Seems Mato Zouken used those things to attack them.
おう、誰かと思えばセーバーのマスターか。いやはや、これはしたり。助っ人を用意しておくとは当社の娘にしては頭が回る。
Dang. For Tohsaka's daughter. Man, that dude does not like the Tohsakas, huh?
そんなわけないでしょ。あんたを押さえつけて白状させるのなんて私とアーチャーだけで十分よ。あそこにいるのはただの観客。私とは関係ないんだから。
In this situation, yes, but in general, not really. Tohsaka keeps glaring at Mato Zouken. But her back is...
あんた何やってんのよ。こんな時にやってくるなんて死にたいの。
harshly scolding me.
シロ、
分かってる。今は遠坂たちと争ってる場合じゃない。
Just as how Tohsaka does not look away from that old man, I'm feeling danger from him. A monster said to have survived by sucking people's blood. A descendant of Makiri who tried to obtain the Holy Grail and made Shinji into a master. There's no way such a guy would just stand there and not do anything.
隠しておきたかったが仕方あるまい。わしとてサーバントを2体敵に回しては生き残れんからの。
Is he take an assassin out? He makes a sound with his cane. The instant it strikes the bricks beneath the old man's feet. Someone we already defeated appears to protect him. We don't see the face. This has gotta be assassin. This has gotta be assassin except as caster, right? Has to be.
キャスター。くそ。本当にまだ残っていやがったのか。
シロ、下がって。あれはキャスターですが、キャスターではありません。外装能力はそのままですが、意志である魂を感じない。あれはキャスターの死骸を別のもので補っただけの模造品です。
So is it more like a puppet? Maybe not necessarily related to assassin then? My guess has definitely been assassin, being the type who doesn't have a definitive form himself and takes on the form of others. But there was always the possibility that they were literally just taking them and using them like as puppets. Saber steps forward. In her hand is the invisible sword.
ほう、さすがはセイバー。一目でわしのからくりを見抜きおったが、いやはや、これでは信じ程度のライダーがかなわんのも道理。キャスターもなすすべなくお主に敗れたように、そこのアーチャーとてお主の敵ではあるまい。
向上はそれだけか。我らを測った罪だけではない。敵同士とはいえ、キャスターとてサーバントに選ばれた英霊だ。その亡骸をもてあそぶからには相応の覚悟があるのだろうな。
Oh yeah, I'd say he probably does.
さて、わしは使われなくなったものを拾っただけよ。
Jeez, that's quite the insult.
それを下道というのなら構わんがな、セイバー。それではお主の行く末はその下道にも劣ってしまうぞ。何しろその身は最高のサーバント。ならばこのようなムクロよりお主を屈服させるが最上じゃ。その体を我が虫どもに食わせ、そこなムクロと同じ命運をたどらせよ。
Okay, so maybe it is just the worms then. Maybe it's just the worms. Like, that's what he makes it seem. So maybe it's like using the worms to use them as a puppet? Like control them? Like the corpse? Interesting. Maybe that means Assassin's not as cool as I thought. Doesn't mean Zouken's cool though.
貴様。
何を憤る。所詮サーバントなど主の道具、どのように刺激するかなど問題ではあるまい。霊樹で縛られるも死してなお使われるも同じならば、心ない人形と化すがうぬらのためであろう。
Jeez, that is brutal. You know you said something messed up if you pissed Archer and Saber off with the same sentence, bro. Oh no. The two servants charge. Saber and Archer charge at the laughing monster as if they planned the attack. Two blades slice through Caster. The match was decided from the start. Caster cannot defeat Saber. Even with Mata Zouken's control, that fact has not changed. Caster's magic does not reach Saber, and Saber finishes off the enemy she defeated before. Caster's body begins to disintegrate. Saber stands by and watches it until the end, ensure that it completely disappears, to ensure that her body will not be violated again.
Acha!
It's Tohsaka's voice. Mata Zouken has disappeared. He sacrificed Caster in order to make his escape, but... That is why Saber took care of Caster. Archer ignored her completely, pursued the controller, and
そこまでだ。
Cut Mata Zouken's body in half. That's not really Mata Zouken, so...
No.
Right? There's no way. Zouken's upper body falls to the ground.
Nanto.
A dragging sound. Even though blood and entrails are spilling from his bisected body, the old man still lives. He crawls across the ground with his arms, trying to get away from Archer.
終わりだ、魔術師。過去からの経験でな、お前のような妖物は早めに処理することにしている。
Yeah. Archer raises his short sword above Zouken. This is the end. No matter how immortal Mata Zouken may be, he will die once his head is crushed, and he is almost dead already. It is not like he has self-healing powers like the servants, and his horrific wound is taking him closer to death by the second. But, unwilling to take any chances, Archer kills the Magus with his short sword. No, he tries to kill Zouken and stops. It's not only Archer who felt it. Everybody here does. Tohsaka and Saber, Archer and I. Even Mata Zouken, hovering on the edge of death, trembles at its appearance. What's appearance? Darkness covers the park. The damp air freezes in an instant. My heart is beating at a higher pitch, but the rate is slower. Something bad is close by, so I have to run away. I can't concern myself with that thing. My body understands it instinctively, yet it refuses to move. It's meaningless to run away. My body knows that I can't escape. I move my trembling body and turn my numb neck. I look towards the entrance of the park. There. Stands the shadow. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. Is it that much of a threat to everyone? Interesting. Interesting. So I don't know why this is something that just actually I'll talk about this later. I'll talk about this later. That was a bad time to stop and talk. Whoa. That's a cool effect. Plus the new music. I don't think we've heard this song, right? Oh man, that like the grain there. Space is distorted. I want to believe it's just my imagination, product of the disordered sense of balance caused by extreme tension. I've never seen anything like it. It's insubstantial, as if a shadow suddenly stood up. Its existence is so light that it can be blown away. And yet, its presence dominates this place. It lacks intelligence or reason, and it probably is not even alive. The black shadow stands there like a mirage. So... Yo. Why do I find it so familiar? Yo, what? Are they really making that callback? Is it possible that that was the assassin from the last war? Or just one of, like, maybe something related to Zouken that's been here the whole time. Not been here, but been possible the whole time. And was there somehow. What?
Alien.
I hear a hoarse voice. The only one able to speak here happens to be the dying old man.
Alien.
Does that mean it's not related to him? He crawls while screaming. Mata Zouken pulls himself away from Archer and out of the park. It's not that Zouken had that much strength left. It's just that fear of the shadow drove him. He recognizes this. Nobody is able to move. Tohsaka and I stand still, transfixed by fear. Even Saber and Archer seem entranced. It's like a deep sea monster. The shadow sways in the silent world where everything is still. And... it shows something like a will for the first time. It It lacks eyes, limbs, or a body. Yet it still casts a shadow at its base. Outlined by the moonlight, the shadow begins to stretch and elongate. Like a snake that has found its prey, it points at Tohsaka and... Oblivious to the change, Tohsaka does not move, no. Saber's too far away. Archer has started running, but he's too far away to make it in time. No actual way. The shadow lashes out. Without showing any sign, the shadow abruptly covers tens of meters and...
Tohsaka, aburai!
I frantically push Tohsaka aside. Oh man, you're so dumb. I'm very glad you're dumb, but... That boy finna see red. I can't hear her voice. The instant I push Tohsaka away, something engulfs me. A splashing sound and a sensation of something trying to crush my body. My presentiment wasn't wrong. Water has come crashing in around me, and I'm now sinking into the sea. What? But it's hot. The seawater is too hot. Boiling coal tar. It sticks to my skin and cuts off my life, and I don't feel like I'm in the sea. Feels like he's in the fire. Oh my. That was quite the montage. The orphans, the tower, the Grail. What the... I feel sick. I feel sick. It's wrong. 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 Rabbit's corpse, one eye missing, rotten, soft, and fresh. Forced into my mouth, Rabbit's corpse smears my esophagus. A clear sensation of eating a life. Life is life, even if it is rotten. It's real. I can't taste this with cooked food. It feels good. There's no taste. But I'm forced to eat it as long as it is in front of me. Popular place. A big line. A place that will eat rabbits. There's only... Oh my goodness. I didn't get to see all of it, but...
Emiya-kun?
What else did that say? It's the same thing over and over. They still eat rabbits. There's only one clerk. The line consists of rabbits. Lines and lines. They rot as soon as they get in the line. Infested with maggots. Which is rotten. Which is infested with maggots. Which is alive. Which is doing the eating. I have no clue what the heck any of that means, but yikes. I wake up. My body is hot. My nausea isn't fading. My head is shaking. And I can't even stand up by myself.
目が覚めた? 大丈夫? 私がわかる?
Hello, Tohsaka. She slaps my cheeks.
わかる。こんな時に人を平手打ちするのは間違いなくTohsakaだ。
Yeah, perhaps.
よかった。減らず口を言えるなら大丈夫ね。
Bro, she was pissed for a second and she's like, never mind. I know the situation. I should cool it. That was just my honest opinion right now.
バカ、何笑ってるのよ。言っとくけど、礼は言わないわよ。あんな真似は二度としないで。助けてもらった相手に死なれたら、借りを返すこともできなくなる。
She glares at me. But Tohsaka's still rubbing my back with one hand and holding my hand in the other to check my temperature.
Tohsaka、変なのはどうした？
消えたわ。エミヤくんが影の上に立って倒れたと思ったらもういなかった。あれ自身はあっちの方からやってきたみたいだけど。
That was some Lancer type speed, I'm just saying. Maybe it has nothing to do with that, but that thing was fast. You wanna know who we know is ridiculously fast and conveniently was killed by this assassin? That's right, Lancer. It is assuming they're the same. That thing, the robed figure. Because based on the CG we saw last time, they actually don't look quite the same. This one's wearing like black and red, has all the tentacles. But at the same time, the tentacles and sea monster thing does relate to what we saw of Assassin. We didn't see that many CGs with Assassin though, so... But like, what happened to the mask, right? Like... I mean, we know it got messed up, but... Shouldn't it have one? There was definitely a hole for its face, too. Was that the same? I don't know. I don't even know if that's like the assassin that we have seen. Seems quite likely, but there's actually reason to suspect that it's not. Tohsaka looks southwest and grits her teeth.
そうか。けど俺、随分と長く変なのにから。
本当？ あなたが私を突き飛ばしてから今まで10秒も経ってないわよ。その証拠にほら。
Hasn't even been 10 seconds. Jeez. So he felt like he was in there for an eternity. Not quite, but he felt like he was in there for a while. But it was 10 seconds. Yikes. Saber runs up to me.
またあなたは無茶な真似をして。
Yes, we did. Now she's gonna get mad at us. Saber supports me and pulls me away from Tohsaka.
離れなさい、アーチャーのマスター。それ以上我がマスターに近寄るのなら敵対行為とみなします。
Bro, what?
何？もしかして私も敵？
当然でしょう。あなたはマスターであり、アーチャーを連れている。
Okay, no, I get the logic, right? It makes sense logically, even if obviously we're not exactly enemies with Tohsaka.
何のつもりでシロがあなたをかばったかは知りませんが、みすみす我が主に近づかせることはできない。
I think we didn't mention that we like called a truce. Saber glares at Tohsaka. Crap. I guess I never told Saber about our current truce.
いや違うんだセイバー。遠坂とは今休戦中でキャスターを倒すまで。
You mean like we just did?
シロ、しっかり気を落ち着けて。
だから遠坂は敵じゃない。
I-
そういう約束なんだ。
Yeah, it's kind of blurry here, huh? That boy said, yeah, I don't need eyesight.
わかりました。あなたがそう言うのなら彼女とは争いません。
I definitely... I can get why she would assume that much, though.
悪い。正直もう喋る。
I endure the nausea and the chill that tries to get me unconscious. I have to get home before I faint. I have to stay conscious until then.
助かったか。ま、本体に触れたわけでもなし、実体のあるものなら怒りを移された程度だろう。
Okay, you know what the heck this thing is. Archer, what are you not telling us here, bud? You obviously know what this is. Archer approaches. Archer's expressionless even though Zouken got away. He's the only calm one here.
アーチャー、あなたは今の影が何者か知っているのですか？
さてな。だが、これで一つはっきりした。キャスターなき後、町の人間から魔力を吸い上げているのは今の影だろうよ。
Yeah, I feel like that's way too specific to just be like, yeah, you know, you didn't touch the main body, so you'll be fine. So the most that it can do is make you ill. Right? Like, how would you know that? How would you know that not touching the main body means we're only ill instead of it killing us? It seems like a huge, huge assumption to make right now. So I doubt it would be that, but he answers as if he's not interested. Then Archer looks down at me, lying on the ground.
どうやら支援を優先できる状況ではなくなったようだ。そうだろ、エミヤシロ。
Okay, so is he putting that aside? Okay, that's actually so insane when you think about it, right? We've seen Unlimited Blade Works. We've seen how important this personal grudge is to Archer, and he's willing to put it aside because he's like, oh crap, we're all just gonna die if we don't put this aside right now, huh? Like, Shiro obviously has no clue the weight of that statement.
あれが何であるかはお前の直感が正しい。サーバントとして召喚されたというのに、結局はあれの相手をさせられるというわけだ。
アーチャー、あなたは一体。
そうか。君はまだ守護者ではなかったな。では、あの手の類と対峙したことはなかろう。まったく、いずこにいようとやることに変わりがないとはな。
The Knight in Red beckons Tohsaka to go, but right before they leave.
いや、そう悲観したものではないか。まだことは起きていない。後始末にとどまるか、その前に型をつけるのか。今回は摘み取れる可能性がまだ残されているのだから。
He looks up at the sky and murmurs these words. I'm definitely starting to feel like that is not actually Assassin. my best bet, if anything, assuming that is not assassin, because hold on. I'm just gonna pull up the thumbnail from last episode real quick. Right, so like those do not look even close to what we just saw. What we just saw is, if my videos folder or my captures folder will load, I can pull this up. And I mean, obviously, just the colors, you can tell there's a huge difference. They don't look the same at all. So to me, it seems increasingly likely that that was not assassin that we just encountered. Hold on. Yeah, let me pull up the. Wait. Oh my god, I forgot to change the number in the thumbnail. Whoops. Oh yikes, that needs to happen. So this is what we saw here. That is not the same thing. That is not the same thing. But this is something worth noting. Those are the same. Those were the tentacles from the sea monster. So maybe this is just the sea monster of Assassin? Or maybe they're not related. I don't know. Because now that I think about it, that pool, right, is exactly where the Grail is, like, every time, right? So honestly, if it's not Assassin, my best guess is that is somehow an embodiment of the Grail. It would explain why Zouken is like, oh my god, that is impossible, right? And like skedaddle the way. It would explain the callback to Shiro seeing the tower, right? And feeling it was the same. It would explain why when he got touched by it, it flashed the tower. It flashed the thing we always see with the like the red screaming face, right? I'm pretty sure we saw that. I think we saw like the fleshy part of the Grail, right? Like when it's like fully made, right, and has a host, right? We saw all of those images, I believe, when we were captured by it or around that time. So my best guess has to be like some kind of embodiment of the Grail. Because I don't think those are one and the same. I don't. I mean, I doubt status updated, but let's check. Yeah, no. No status update, so we definitely can't just definitively say yes, it's Assassin, obviously. Wow, that was something. And obviously we have the fact that Archer's willing to set aside that personal grudge, and then the show just being like, what? He's just like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Personal grudges? For what the shadow was, your intuition is correct. I'm summoned as a servant, but I'm to fight it after all. That was definitely one of the lines right there that made me really think it's certainly possible that this is actually the Grail itself, or something summoned by the Grail. And then something else I meant to mention. So I don't know if you guys remember, but right as that thing appeared, I mentioned an observation, right, that I made, and that I just didn't want to bring up in the moment, and I'm surprised I didn't forget about it, actually. I probably should have just said it right there. But so one of the things I was thinking about was the fact that with the scene in the temple, right, Rito Temple, when we saw Caster like get absorbed, we don't know for a fact that that was actually Assassin at all. It seems quite possible that that was just Zouken, right, using his bugs, which and then assassin has to gain whatever knowledge, right? He has to directly kill his target. Well, when he killed Lancer fell into the pool, or the lake, whatever. Is that relevant? That means it could have been absorbed by the tentacle thing, right? That may or may not be the Grail. It may or may not be the Grail. It also may or may not just be part of Assassin as a servant. I mean, that's a very real possibility, is that it's part of Assassin, right? It just doesn't seem super likely. Why would we not have just seen Assassin, and why would Zouken recognize it? Why would we see all of that Grail imagery, and why would Shiro feel like he recognizes it, right? To me, it feels very possible. It feels very likely that that's somehow the embodiment of the Grail, and that it's not necessarily connected to Assassin beyond the fact that they're servants. Or maybe the Grail, right, is somehow related to Assassin's appearance. That would be wild. If the Grail was like, alright, yeah, this Holy Grail war is whack. I'm summoning Assassin. Like... Lots of interesting possibilities. I'm sure plenty of my guesses are a mile off, and I'm going to look back at it like, wow, that was stupid. But hopefully some of them are on the mark. Switches off and on. The heat permeates my body, and I don't feel like I'm walking. Is it because someone told me this is like a disease? Feels like plagued maggots are filling my whole body.
Senpai!
Hello. I can't tell dream and reality apart. I feel like I'm already asleep and trying to go back to my room.
Sakura, 睡眠中ではなかったのですか?
どいてください。そんな支え方じゃ先輩が辛くなる。
The problem is that we're already hurt.
いえ、これは私が任されたことです。それに、何らかの病だとしたら、あなたにまで移ってしまう。
そんなことを言ってるんじゃありません。セイバーさん。あなたと先輩が何をしているのかは知りません。聞いても答えてもらえないことだって分かっていますから、問いただすこともしませんでした。
Yeah. It was pretty obvious that we'd eventually come to this point with Sakura. There was a confrontation.
けど、あなたが来てから先輩は毎日辛そうでした。それだけならよかったのに、今夜は怪我をして帰ってきたんです。
More like he brought himself home injured and Saber happened to be there, but...
さくら、それは。
セイバーさんの事情は知りません。けど、もう少しうまいやり方があるんじゃないですか。
Dang, if we go like full on fate route passiveness because of this, that'd be tough.
それができないって言うなら、せめて
Yeah, that's
先
not
輩を巻
possible.
き込むのはやめてください。
That's why she's here. Whoa. I returned to my room. Feels like someone is next to me, putting me to sleep. The voice is whispering in my ear, but I can't make out the words. Did it apologize? It's my fault? Did it apologize? Sorry. Whatever the words are, they're the last thing I hear. My consciousness fades as soon as I lie down. Yeah, I saw that coming. The scene keeps squirming like insects until the very end. Yep, that makes sense. Figured it'd be an interlude or a dream.
じゃ、またね。明日こそ遅刻しないでよ。
Who the heck is this? She slurs her words as she sees off her friends. There's no one around, and the rotary is completely still. Did her friend get the last taxi, or are they just avoiding this place for some reason? The station, which used to be filled with light and people, is now just a group of lifeless buildings.
ま、こんな日もあるか。
She heads home, still slightly drunk. It doesn't matter if there's no taxi or if the last train is out. Her apartment is close by. Her friends live 3 stations away, so she always walks home by herself after seeing them off. The rotary is quiet even though it's still before midnight, and she starts home like always. So, when did it turn into something that's not, like always? The desolate town, the pitch-black back alleys, the chill emanating from the dark shadows. Formless unease assails her.
ちょっと誰かいるの?
She turns around. The only thing following her is her cold and silent silhouette. She walks faster. Staying here is dangerous. She doesn't believe she's overthinking. Nobody is following her. First of all, she doesn't have the sense to realize that even if she is in danger. She's only human after all.
ちょっと何よこれ?
But she can't stop shivering. The unpleasant presence gets stronger. This is just like the time she woke up at night as a child. She would wake up to go to the bathroom, but would sense someone crouching in the corner. Instead of moving, she would pretend to be asleep until morning came. This unease is how she felt then, as if the whole world has abandoned her. She's running now. She's not taking her usual route home. The road in front of her is dangerous. The roads she usually takes home are all dark. Instinctively seeking the safest way, she's running before she knows it. What is following her? Feels like... I mean, said she's only human, so probably some kind of servant or the Grail. If it's that. When did the quick trot turn into an all-out dash? She understands that it's silly to be scared of something she cannot see, but she's unable to stop herself. She runs like a dog. Her throat is dry, but strangely, she isn't sweating. The town at night. The series of accidents with unknown causes. Desperately, she tells herself that it's not the work of a serial killer. There's no one around. Tonight, of all nights, the place is empty. Is that why this seems like it's happening to somebody else? The familiar town is like an imitation in a mirror that will never find her. Oh. This is quite a place to end up, huh? And she arrives at the final destination.
おかしいな。どうして?
Yikes. Did she come to this place?
何してんだろう、私。
Something is very funny. Something's funny, so sounds of laughter come from her throat as if someone else. She's merely running. Her usual route home seemed too dangerous, so she ran along the roads that felt safer to her, and... Finally, she realizes that there's no place to run. What was that? Worms, 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 worms. Some appear from between the grasses. Some fall down from the tree branches. The first one drops on her right eye and... It uses the snout larger than her eyeballs to crawl into her eye socket. Okay. The scream is not heard. She crumbles to the ground. Pain shoots through her heels. It hurts. It hurts as if they've been chopped off with an axe. Since that's impossible, she tries to move her toes, only to find that she can't feel them. In its place, many new things enter her body from the cut heel. She tries to see what they are with her remaining left eye. This is horrifying, y'all. Oh my god. She cannot see what they are anymore. Indescribable horrors swarm over her body. The sound effects, too. Her mind somehow does not see what they are eating. The worms dive in. When she was small, she once saw maggots swarming on a sponge. This is just like that. Although inchworms chewing through an apple might be a more apt comparison. But the realistic image in the scene before her did not seem related. Because such things cannot be. Such things cannot be happening to her. It's almost midnight. She has to hurry home, ready the bath. Ouch. Laugh off all the fatigue. That hurts. Let her hair dry. It hurts. Watch some videos. Return to her room. It hurts. She wants to return to her room. Return. Please. Please stop. Stay up till 3 o'clock. It really hurts. Anything. Please stop. Please stop. It hurts. It hurts. Wake up with an alarm clock. Go back. It hurts. Go to work. Go back, go back, go back, go back.
だから会社に部屋に戻りたい戻りたいのに
This is genuinely horrifying.
どっか行け違うって言ってるでしょやめてよお願いします私を部屋に返してくださいお願いあんたたちもうやだ何勝手に私の
This is horrifying. This is actually a scene that I'm seeing. Oh my god. Ugh. The meal ends in under 5 minutes. It was too gruesome a scene to be called a meal, but if one defines having a meal as absorbing nourishment, this was certainly a meal. The lying body stands up. The female body is turned into an old man's body.
こればかりはいつになってもなれんものだな。
Ugh. Okay, Zouken. That's disgusting. I should have finished him off. Unlucky. That was really convenient timing. To me, timing that convenient in a lot of ways says intentional. Seems unlikely that, I don't know. Is he somehow related to that? Is that the reason that thing showed up? A hoarse voice echoes through the park. The worms have disappeared. They finished their meal and have returned to their nest, the old man's body. In other words, they replaced a woman's body, the one they fed on. Someone else is watching the spectacle. Between the crisscrossing tree branches, a white mask is floating. Okay, so that's Assassin. For sure. So that, to me, 100% confirms that they are not one and the same. The mask made from human skull is smiling like a buffoon. The owner of the mask does not even need to be mentioned. It is the seventh servant, the one born from within the fake servant. He is the heroic spirit who defeated Lancer, Assassin.
器用なものだ。先ほどの体も元より借り物だったということか。
Who the heck is talking right now?
ほう。見てお
Is
った
that
の
Assassin
か、
himself? Okay.
そうよ。わしの肉体はとうの昔に滅び去っておる。こうしてすでに出来上がっている体に寄生するだけの老いぼれでな。他の者どものように日の元に出られる体ではない。
The laughing figure is indeed Mato Zouken. It took him a few minutes to attack and take over a woman's body. The speed is incredible, even for a master magus.
そうか。元の体などどうでもよい。単に一人分の肉が必要なだけなのだな。そうして得た肉を好みの形に作り上げるわけか。どのみち中身は虫どもなのだ。人間としての機能は虫どもが果たす。まさに擬態よな。
ほほう。わずか一日で饒舌になったではないか、アサシン。その様では、己が望みを思い出したか。
無論。我は同じ望みを持つ召喚者にのみ呼び出される。魔術師殿の不死への渇望が好みを招いたのだ。故に私が望むは永遠のみ。だが
The black shadow wavers. The emotionless skull stares at the aged magus.
いささか疑問が生じた。魔術師殿はすでに不死。その年月も500を超えよう。ならば望みはとうにかなっているのではないか。
I'd assume that means that there's a point where it just doesn't work anymore. The old magus lets out a cry. Who would know that the cry is not a laugh, but a cry of anger? Yes, Mato Zouken is almost immortal. He will live as long as there are bodies to infest and his soul remains alive. But there's only pain. Zouken does not wear his current form by choice, turning his body into something inhuman and mimicking human form. There is a limit to this magic. It is like a machine. A machine can run forever in theory, but its parts rust over time. Parts rust, cogwheels slide out of place, programs become obsolete.
いやいや、わしは不死ではないぞ、アサシン。わしの体は腐る。何度新しい肉体を得ようと腐る。何をしようと腐っていくのだ。この新しい肉体とてすでに腐敗が始まっている。生きたまま自身が腐っていくこの不快と屈辱。自らが人ではなく虫なのだと受け入れる絶望といえば分かってもらえるかな。
なぜ腐る？虫どもでは真っ当な肉体を作れないのか？
そのようなことはないぞ。虫どもは生きがいいからな。肉体面では何の問題もない。元より老いる体を憂い適正体となった身だ。わしは永遠に生き続ける方法、人間としてとどまれる方式としてこの延命法を選んだつもりじゃ。
ますますわからぬな。完全な肉体維持を選んでおいてその始末なのか。そもそもなぜ外見を老人に模す？
Valid question.
肉を粘土のようにこねるのなら、いかようにも姿は変えられよう。
Obviously, it must not be that simple, but
良い質問じゃ。ではトーンが元の肉体を完全に失った者が自らの力だけでかつての自分を復元するとしよう。その場合、肉体を元の形に戻すものは何だと思う？
肉体は己の肉体を記録している。肌がそげ、肉が落ちようとかつての姿に戻るのは、肉体そのものに設計図があるからだ。
makes sense.
うん。遺伝子に記録された構成図じゃな。だがわしの場合は違う。そも自身の構成を記録していた肉体そのものを失ったのだ。設計図をもって肉体を復元することはできぬ。その場合、自己を覚え、元通りの形にするものは何だと思うね。
What, the worms themselves? It is obvious. The soul. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Whoops. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. It is not the law of the physical world, but something of the higher order. The record of all the bodies within the concept of the astral world. Yes, if one has the soul, one should be able to reconstruct their body even if the original body and genes have been lost. So in other words, this old magus is...
なるほど。自身の魂だけを生かし、肉体は生きている者たちから摂取する。故に他の姿にはなれない。魔術師殿が存命させているものは肉体ではなく魂。
And the soul keeps aging.
故に、魂以外の姿は形作れない。
And doesn't change to other people, so...
当然であろう。わしとて好き好んで老人の体を得ているわけではないわ。よいか。わしはこの姿しか作れんのだ。それも定期的に変えねば腐り落ちる不出来なものよ。かつては一度の取り替えで54年活動したわしが、今では数ヶ月に一度取り替えねば存命できぬ。
Yikes, every few months? That is... not very long. That's a lot of killing.
その歪小さ、腐敗する苦しみが誰に理解できようか。間違えるな、今代のアサシンよ。そのようなものを二度と不死と称するでない。
Irritation can be heard in the voice of the old magus. It has been 3 days since Assassin's summoning. He finally sees the true nature of his summoner.
納得がいった。つまり、腐っているのは肉体ではなく。
そう。魂が腐っておる。時間の蓄積は幽体にさえ影響を及ぼすのだ。 故にわしの体は腐る。構成図である魂が腐っていては肉体が腐り落ちるのも当然であろう。
故に聖杯を求めるか。憤るわけよな。その永遠、生地永久を知らぬ者よりつらかろう。
わしの体は腐るのだ。その苦しみ、骨の髄まで侵す毒から解放されねばならん。そのための聖杯、そのための死なない体よ。
And now he sees the chance to finally take that eternal life.
そうだ。わしは死にたくない。まだ生きていたい。この世から消えてなくなるなど考えるだに恐ろしい。それから逃れるために何百年と生き、腐敗から逃れるために何千という肉を食らい続けた。わかるか、山の主よ。わしはこの虫と化した自身が恨めし、わしだけが腐ることが恨めし、人として当然のように正しい肉体を授かる虫どもが恨めしいのだ。
Interesting. So, Master of the Mountain. Is that like some title of whoever this spirit is? I don't actually have a clue, but it's possible. If it is, I wouldn't have a clue what that means, but that was quite the rant he just went on. The White Mask looks down at the rotting old man. How can he say he hates humans that live peacefully? It was his spell, used to escape that peaceful life, that gave him this pain. The unending torments of this Magus, the decay that melts his bones and flesh, is the result of his own action. But the pain overrides such trivial matters as blame. It must not matter who is evil or what the cause is, because it is just a speculation. Mato Zouken must be insane already. The pain and fear of experiencing one's own decomposition must be unbearable for normal human beings. Nobody should be able to endure it, no matter how strong their mind may be. Because one will die. The body dies if it rots for over an hour. But 200 years. Only this old Magus would understand how rotten the mind is of someone who has his body rotting away. Mato Zouken has gone insane. No matter his mental state, if there's nobody in this world who can identify with him, he will be labeled insane.
数百年の妄念か。私には理解できぬが。
The old man's monologue can be summarized in one sentence. He does not want to die. He does not want to die. In short, he does not want to die. It is merely that a wish anyone would have became clear for this man. He sacrificed many people, clinging to the simple yet foolish wish. He prepared many things and sacrificed people to obtain the Holy Grail. No, this old Magus's very existence is made possible by those sacrifices. That is reason enough for the masked assassin to pledge his loyalty.
理解できぬが、魔術師殿はこの私のマスターにふさわしい。よかろう。人として扱われなかった者同士、共に永遠を目指すとしよ
I'm kind of wondering who the heck assassin actually is. I feel like people who were well versed in like Arabic history or mythology could probably wager a guess at this point and be very close to the answer, but I don't. I don't know that stuff very well. So, I don't have a clue. Honestly, my only guess right now, if I had to make one, would be the founder of the Hashashin Order. I don't actually have a clue if that's accurate, but we know for a fact that apparently this guy uses hashash, right? And that's not a name, that's a drug. And I can't believe I did not like piece that together, because I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. Actually, literally, if I move this way, you can see one of the art books up there, right? Like, so I knew that the origin of like the assassin order that is used in Assassin's Creed is based on the Hashashin, right, order. which was basically the first group of assassins, right? And so, with that connection in mind, it's possible that this is the founder of that order. I don't have any basis other than that, them being an assassin and using hashash, right? Which could mean any number of people, right? And not necessarily the founder of that order. So that's not like a 100% is, I'm a genius. It could be. I don't even know the name of that person, right? I just saw it in a Wikipedia article yesterday. But I already forgot it. So let's just keep moving. But that's my guess as to who assassin would be. And clearly, this is, like he said, somebody not treated as human. And he's an odd character so far. Not treated as human, seeking eternity. Right? There's a lot yet to learn about Assassin. The skull waits. The servant in a black coat bows to the rotting old magus. Interesting stuff. The interlude was interesting. Hold on. Let me let it load. Oh, never mind. We're between days, right? So the interlude itself, we got that visceral image of what it looks like when Zouken takes another form, and begin to understand exactly how that form is taken, right? Through the use of the worms, and his soul is basically the record of his body, and he keeps remaking that body, right? From his soul, essentially. And we know that Zouken's main motivation is simply to not die. A lot of interesting stuff learned in there. It was an interesting interlude. This route's had a lot of interludes. There's one or two every episode. Let's go ahead and continue forward. We're gonna have to deal with Sakura a bit here. I have a feeling this isn't gonna be fun. It's morning. It's past 7 o'clock. Pure white sunlight shines in through the window. I sit up and stretch. Feel great. My limbs move fine, and I don't have a headache. My body's in perfect condition, as if the fever yesterday never happened.
ってことは、ただの胸焼けだったんだな、あれ。
Yeah, no. I sigh and think it over. I need more training if I'm losing consciousness just by recalling the events 10 years ago. My memory is vague, but I do remember Saber helping me walk home and putting me to sleep.
そうか。Saber に。
Yeah, he really
お礼を言わないと。
does not remember what the heck happened. I get out of my futon and change into my uniform. Goodness, I gotta sneeze. Okay, I think it's not happening. I bet she's still sleeping, so I'll thank her during breakfast. It's 7 o'clock already, so I'll go greet Sakura in the living room.
Senpai!
Hello. Sakura has her bag. Breakfast is ready as well. The table is wiped clean, ready for us to eat at any time.
あれ、朝飯もう支度できてるんだ。
はい。時間があったので、先輩とセイバーさんの分を作っておきました。
俺とセイバーの分って、さくらのは？
私はいいです。先に学校に行ってますから、お二人で朝食をとってください。
どうしたんだよ、さくら。俺たちの朝飯作っておいて、自分だけ食べないなんて変だぞ。
Well, yes.
もしかして、昨日何かあったのか？
A lot of things happened yesterday, bro. But seems like I guessed right. But nothing happened yesterday. Sakura went to her room after dinner, and that's all. Yeah, he doesn't remember any of that. It's kind of what I was thinking, because he clearly did not properly remember what the heck happened yesterday. I think something happened after that, but I don't remember too well because of my nausea.
そういえば、ここでさくらとセイバーがなんか話してた気がする。よく聞こえなかった。
私、ひどいことを言っちゃったんです。先輩が倒れかけているのを見て、ついカッとなっちゃって。
ひどいことってセイバーに？
はい。
けど私にだってそんなこと言える資格なんてなかった。それなのにセーバーさんだけ悪者にしてしまったんです。
You did indeed do that.
だから今はセーバーさんに合わせる顔がなくて、それで
That's why she made breakfast and wants to leave before Saber wakes up.
すみません先輩。あの後すぐ自分のバカさ加減に気づいてセーバーさんに謝ったんです。そしたらセーバーさん私に謝ってくるんです。私が悪いのに自分の不注意だったって。
I mean, in a roundabout way it is, I guess, but either way, she was pretty rude yesterday. But I don't think we can really hide this from Sakura forever, man. Like, there's no way. She hangs her head. I see. She must feel more self-hatred because Saber apologized to her when she should be the one apologizing.
まったくバカだな二人とも。
Yeah, that's
一番悪いのは
That's
怪
what I'm
我をした
thinking.
俺だろ。さくらもセイバーもそんなことで喧嘩することなかったんだ。
last I checked, Shiro's the one who pushed Tohsaka out of the way and got himself hurt.
でも先輩、私
いいんだって言っとくけどな、あいつは相手に火があったら絶対に折れないぞ。さくらの言い分が無茶苦茶だったら怒鳴り返してくれ。そのあいつが謝るってことはさくらの言い分を認めてるってことだ。セイバーは口にしないだろうけどさくらのこときっと好きだぞ。基本的に一生懸命やってるやつを大切にするんだよあいつは。
けどならなおのこと今朝は遠慮します。セーバーさんが怒ってくれなかった分ちゃんと自分で叱らないと調子に乗っちゃいますから。
That doesn't feel like a normal mindset at all. Sakura bows to hide her embarrassment. Seems she's going to school early no matter what.
さくらがそう言うんなら無理には止めないけど、こんな早く学校に行ってどうするんだ？朝練禁止されてるだろ？
大丈夫、道場のお掃除をするだけですから。セーバーさんにあんなこと言っちゃったんですから、罰として弓道場の床を雑巾がけするんです。
This is just strange, man. I like this is not how normal people act. Sakura leaves with a goodbye.
道場の掃除って冬場の雑巾がけはきついぞさくら。
And as punishment for something she said. Like, self-inflicted. Well, I suppose that's the point. What did she say to Saber to make her go so far? To me, that screams like...
私とさくらが喧嘩ですか？
To me, that screams like I am not acting like normal because of the way I was probably raised, right? I feel like that's probably a product of her abuse, right? Kind of like a, well, I didn't get punished this time, but to keep myself from going over that line again, I'm going to punish myself anyways, right? Like, cause what normal person does that? What normal person's like, I said something rude, I'm gonna punish myself and go scrub the floor of this dojo. I can say I can safely say I have never done anything of the sort, guys. I don't know anyone that has. Right. Like, the only time I've ever seen people really, like, self-inflict punishments is like, man, I had this goal to not do this, and I completely broke it. As a punishment, I'm not going to do this, right? Different thing, right? Even that, like, doesn't really happen that often. Right? Or, you know, like, I guess the main thing I can think is, like, dieting. Right? Like, oh, I didn't meet my calorie goal, so as a punishment, I'm not allowed to eat this snack today or something, you know? Like, never seen somebody like, I said something rude. I'm gonna go scrub floors in the middle of winter. Like, okay.
ね、あ、いや、したんじゃないのか。さくら、セイバーに悪かったって言ってたけど。
言われてみれば確かにそのように見えたかもしれませんが、しかしあれはさくらが正しいのであって口論というよりは 私の不徳を注意してもらったという方が。
Wow. Saber's deep in thought. Not only that, she's pondering so much that she's eating at incredible speed.
いや、変なこと言って悪かった。さくらがすごく気にしてたから、こっちも気になっただけなんだ。なんでもないんなら。
はあ、
Goodness.
さくらといいシロといい、昨夜から同じことを言うのですね。
No.
実は二人揃って私をからかっているのではありませんか？
No pranks played here.
そんな手の込んだ冗談するか。そんなことして俺とさくらに何の得があるってんだよ。
I don't even want to think of what had happened if I did play a joke on her and she found out about it.
それはそうですね。では単に二人とも互いを気遣っての行為だったわけですか。
That's a better way to put it. Nodding to herself, Saber digs into another omelet. It's good to be able to eat a lot in the morning.
けど、なんて言ったんだよ、さくらは。生半可なことじゃそこまで落ち込まないし。そのあたり聞いてもいいかな、セイバ
ー。それは単に私のサーバントとしての力不足についてです。要約すれば、白を守りきれなかったのは私の未熟さだったと。
Something like that. I mean, it's not like she knows you're a servant. Probably. But
セイバーは十分すぎるぐらいやってくれてる。
yeah, I feel like that's very inaccurate. Right? Like, Saber's been cutting people down this time around, man.
ゆうべだって、俺が勝手に倒れただけだろ。セイバーが気に病むことじゃない。
それはそうなのですが、とにかくさくらの忠告は正しかった。問題はそれにうなずくことのできない私自身です。さくらに何と言われようと私は、あなたというマスターをこれからも戦いに赴かせるのですから。
Implying Shiro's not just fine with that? Like, I mean, it's not like this is like a one-way road where Shiro's following you into battle because he feels like he has to. Right? Shiro's the one who's like, yeah, we don't even need to say anything, let's go. There's a servant over there, we're boxing. She looks away awkwardly. Something is strange. Why is Saber so preoccupied with something that they've agreed on?
がなく、不審に感じた住民が周囲の住宅の調査を要請したところ。
The news is on. I turned on the TV and found it broadcasting about an incident last night.
発見された体調不良者は30名に及び、直ちに病院に運ばれました。今月に入ってから7件目の昏睡事件ですが、診察の結果はやはり何らかの食中毒に近いと。
I finished breakfast and get ready for school. I'm gonna go see Tohsaka. I have to talk to her about what happened last night. Amato Zouken and that black shadow.
警察では、宮山南4丁目一帯に被害が拡大したことから、何らかの薬物が散布された可能性が高いと。
South Miyama, 4th Avenue. That's the direction Tohsaka was staring at yesterday. Archer said the shadow was the cause of the incidents. Over 30 people are in comas. I've experienced what they're going through firsthand. The shadow is sucking magical energy from the people in this town, just like Castor. No, it's worse than that. Castor was gentle and considerate compared to that thing. Castor took care not to harm her victims, so that she could continue to drain them. It's like collecting blood with a syringe. But that thing is different. That thing was not collecting blood like Castor. That thing was eating. The black shadow was mercilessly feeding on magical energy along with people's minds.
セイバー、学校に行く前に話がある。
Yeah, this is like if you took Castor and like amplified it by 10. Right? The like, oh, we have to do something before like the people of this town are, you know, like way too involved in this and are heavily harmed. Right? That black shadow is just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go basically drain people's energies and their souls. Yeah. They're not like waiting slowly over time. Like Castor kind of was.
はい。何でしょうか、シロ。
Saber's watching the news as well. Saber quietly questions me like always, even though she should know what I want to talk about.
今後の方針のことだ。セイバーも夕べのあれを見ただろう。
はい。どのような幻想種にも該当しない、見たことのないものでした。
Yeah, I was gonna say, that thing does not look like anything I've ever seen.
あれが何であるかはわからない。 ただあいつはあいつで俺たちの敵だ。マスターにもサーバントにも見えなかったけど、意図的に俺やトーサカを狙ってきたし、町の住人からも魔力を集めている。なら
当面はあの影の探索を優先するということですか？
Yeah, that'd be nice.
マスターともサーバントとも取れぬ、私たちには関わりのないものの相手をすると。
Yeah, when you put it like that, it's really bold, but Saber's stare is painful. Her goal is to obtain the Holy Grail, but I'm asking her to get involved in something completely unrelated. It's natural for her to protest, but still.
あの影を放っておけない。これは聖杯戦争より優先すべきことだと思う。
Saber silently stares at me, and when I start to think I can't bear it any longer.
まったくそう来ると思っていました。私としてはあの影には関わりたくないのですが。
セイバー、その本当にいいのか？
いいも悪いも私が断ったところでシローは一人で行動するではないですか。
Yeah, no, you're right.
そうなった時あなたを守りきれねば本末転倒です。あなたに死なれては私はこの世にとどまれません。
Yeah, that's fair, but
ですからたとえ反対であったとしてもシローの方針に従うしかないのです。
それはそうだけど。
それにあなたを一人にしては昨夜のような無茶をいつしでかすか。あれで2度目ですからね。3度目だって必ずあります。そんなことになったら私はまたさくらに謝らねばならなくなる。
yeah, knowing Shiro, there'll definitely be a third time, and if possible, a fourth time, and a fifth time. You just give him enough time, and he'll find a way to infinitely make a very reckless decision.
じゃあ
誠に不本意ですが、サーバントは主の命に従うもの。マスターであるシローがそう判断したのなら剣は預けます。
セイバー
ですがシロー、あの影は尋常な相手ではない。あれに比べればバーサーカーとて御しやすい相手でしょう。
Yeah, no kidding.
それは肌で感じた。
I guess that shadow is how they're upping the ante, though.
あいつはその強いとか弱いとかいう次元の話じゃなくて、ただ不吉だった。殴れば倒せるって相手でもないと思う。
それが分かっているのなら私からは何もありません。ただシロー、あれの相手をするということは最も困難な道を行くということ。
Will do.
いや、そりゃ用心はするけど、なんだよ変なこと言って。セイバーもアーチャーみたいにあの影を知ってるのか？
I feel like she shouldn't, but maybe she instinctively does.
いいえ、私もシローと同じです。あの影が何者なのかは分からない。
Saber looks away, and Saber says,
ただ漠然と感じたのです。あれは良くない星そのものだと。それこそ関わったもの全てに破滅をもたらす逃れようのない茨のような。
The ill star, what the heck is that? But I get the point. As if to express her ominous premonition. Yikes. Looks like we're going for it,
ホ
though.
ームルーム始めるわよ。日直よろしくって相川くんは休みで、相物さんも休み。じゃあ張り切って先生がやっちゃおっかな。みんな起立。
So much energy, always. Homeroom starts. There are more absent people, giving the room a listless feel. Well, I think the whole school is probably like this. Fujini lightly continues homeroom, but I don't see her usual spirit either.
じゃそういうわけで放課後の部活動は禁止ね。
None after school either.
連絡事項は以上。ちなみに1次元目の久月先生はお休みだから自習。プリントは持ってきてあげたから、みんなはこのまま教室で缶詰ってなさい。
Yeah, I wonder what the heck happened to Kazuki. We may never know. Everyone unanimously cheers and starts moving their desks. Fujini doesn't care if people work on the handout or not. Everyone's free to do anything as long as they don't go out of the classroom, but...
シロ、ちゃちゃ。
So why is she beckoning me to come see her in the hallway in such a suspicious manner? Yeah, what is she trying to talk to us about? What?
なんだよ藤根、授業中だぞ今。
そうなんだけどね。ほら、朝そっちに顔出せなかったでしょ。それで不安になっちゃって、シロは元気かなーって。
Yes? I mean, that's a really weird time to ask that, I guess. Like, did she somehow know something was up?
なんだよいきなり。不安って何が不安なんだ。
それがよくわからない。虫の知らせっていうの？昔からさ、こうチクチク来る時があったんだけど、その後って決まってシロが車にひかれたり橋から落ちたりしたの。だからシロ元気かなって。
I mean, excellent hunch, but what? Anytime I get this hunch, you could get run over by a car or fall off a bridge?
そんなの全然普通じゃんか。それで危ないってんなら今までずっと危なかったよ、俺は。
True.
そうなんだけどね。こう一緒に乗らなくちゃいけない電車があるのに、シロだけホームに残っちゃってバイバイって手を振ってるみたいな、そんな感じ？
That's a strange feeling. Like, I feel like it's gotta be like indicative of something, and I'm just not piecing it together right now, but
具体的な例えだけど、そこで目が覚めたってこと？
あ、分かっちゃった？お姉ちゃん、おかげで寝坊しちゃったんだよ。
I'm speechless. So she didn't come to my house because she just woke up late? Oh, I'll forgive her, since that's what I expect from Fujini.
心配無用。こっちはいつも通りだよ。藤姉こそ目にクマできてるぞ。寝不足なの。
Goodness.
まあね。昨日も忙しくて、今日も忙しくなりそうよ。しばらく残業続きになりそうだから、シロのところには行けなくなると思う。悔しいけど、私のご飯は作らなくていいや。
Man, that's gonna be weird. Or just not showing up really for a while.
え？
話はそれだけ。プリントちゃんとやっときなさい。シロ、現代社会の成績悪いんだから、気合い入れないと赤点取っちゃうわよ。
Get it together, Shiro. Come on, man. Fujini cheerfully waves goodbye and leaves.
飯はいいって、まあ助かるけど。
It's disappointing as well. Yeah, obviously I played through Unlimited Blade Works. We saw how important, right, Shiro, or like Fujini is to Shiro in that route. The fact that he wasn't willing to take Caster's deal. Or no, wait. Is that he... Oh goodness. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he made a crazy decision because he wasn't willing to risk Fujini's life. I feel empty, as if my normal everyday life has disappeared. I was gonna say, like, that is like normal life. Fujini and Sakura are basically his family at this point, so her not being there is gonna be weird for him and us as the player, because she's one of the main sources of like.
So ne. エミヤ君の意見には賛成する。
She's one of the main sources of like calming things down.
私もあの影は見過ごせない。どこの魔術師だか知らないけど、私の土地で好き放題やってくれてるんだから。
じゃあ、休戦条約はまだ続けていいってことか。
当然でしょ。あの影を排除するまで余裕ないんじゃない？お互い。
Our conversation ends really quickly. I went to Tohsaka's classroom, class 2A, during lunchtime to go get her. I told her I want to do something about that black shadow, and her answer was simple.
それじゃあどうする？今夜から一緒に巡回するとか、手分けして探すとかしてみるか？
そうね。役割分担には賛成するわ。あなたは夜の巡回を続けて、魔術師として怪しいと思ったところ、セイバーが怪しいって感じたところを徹底的に調べること。で、エミヤ君がそうして表立って動いてくれてる間、私はゾウケンを追うから。
That is a wise move.
マトゾウケン。あいつ、あの影に関係あるのか？
He clearly recognized it.
さあ、ゾウケンもあの影を怖がってたから望み薄だとは思うけど、どこか引っかかるのよ。
Yeah.
まあ、あの影を抜きにしたってゾウケンは放っておけないでしょ。 キャスターの死体を操ったり、魔術師でもないシンジをけしかけてマスターにしたり、きな臭いったらありゃしない。
Yeah, it needs to be dealt with either way, but I suspect he knows. I feel like he has to know something that's up with that shadow, right? Like he has to have some general clue as to what it is.
そうか。そうだな。言われてみれば、そもそもキャスターのことで手を組んだんだもんな、俺たち。あのじいさんだって無視できないってことか。
ええ、あの影の相手は周りをきれいに片付けてからにしましょう。もし見つけても偵察に留めておいて。
Yeah.
あれと戦うのはもっと足場を固めてからにしないとダメよ。
I'm gonna assume that's this route's final boss, so.
OK。けど、トーサカはどうするんだ？ゾウケンを撃って、あいつの居場所わかるのか？
え？ああ、うん。居場所はわからないけど、直接マトウテ屋に乗り込むわ。うちはマトウ家とは縁があるから、あなたより私の方が適任でしょ？
I mean, that's true, but does your family's qualifications or like connections really make you like any better at finding him? I don't know. I guess maybe they might have some record of another place he's been. So I guess, yeah. Tohsaka states it simply, but her plan isn't that simple.
乗り込むってマトウテにか？お前、それ敵の本拠地に突っ込むってことだぞ。
Yeah, they're just literally rolling in.
そうだけど、何驚いてるのよ。別に戦いに行くわけでもないし、ただ相手の陣地を調べるだけじゃない。
I guess they're gonna learn that Shinji's still a master.
バカ。
Probably.
ゾウケンが待ち伏せしてたらどうするんだ？そんなの、トーサカ一人で行かせられない。俺も一緒に行くから、早まった真似するな。
バカ、早まってるのはそっちの方よ。
And talking about reckless, bro. Hey, you're the last one to tell somebody not to be reckless.
言ったでしょ。私はマトウと縁があるの。マトウの魔術は知っているし、ゾウケンの力量だって昨日度で測れたわ。はっきり言って、ゾウケンは敵じゃない。
Yeah, except that was like an excellent bluff, because he still has assassin.
あのローマ術師は魔力のほとんどを体の維持に当てているから、直接的な攻撃手段がないのよ。
See, that's true. But assassin. Dangerous.
そんなわけだから、ゾウケンが直接対決してくれるならむしろ願ったりだし、シンジだってもうマスターじゃないなら無害でしょ？
That's not true, but there's no reason for you to suspect that, so.
古臭い魔術師同士の争いは私に任せて、エミヤ君は体で情報を稼いでちょうだい。
I can't talk back if she can declare it like that. Archer will be with her, so I shouldn't worry that much.
わかった。マトウゾウケンのことはトーサカに任せた。俺とセイバーはあの影を探してみる。
Can't help but feel like something's bad gonna happen, or something bad's gonna happen there.
ええ、よろしくね。それとエミヤ君、聞くけど、さくらはちゃんとあなたの家にいるのよね？
ああ、家に泊めてるけど、それがどうした？
ううん、なんでもない。それを聞いて安心しただけよ。
And she won't be at the Mato house.
マトウ邸に乗り込んだ時、何も知らないさくらがいたらやりづらいでしょ？
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
そうか。驚いたな。トサカ、お前ってすごく気が利く。
何よ、その意外なものを見たって目は。あなたね、人のことどんな風に思ってたのよ？
A devil.
いや、どんな風ってそりゃ。
I thought she was like a storm, coming and going in a flash.
エミヤ君が何を考えようと勝手だけど。
Yes, you do.
とにかくマトウの問題は私が解決するから、あなたは夜までおとなしくしてなさいよね。
了解。ここはトーサカに甘えてセイバーと鍛錬でもしてる。夜まで時間もあることだしな。
I get up and head to the door. Lunch break is almost over, so I should go back soon.
じゃあな、トーサカ。また明日ここで落ち合おう。
ええ、お互いの成果を交換し合うってことで。
Man, this gotta suck for Sakura. She just wanted to eat lunch with Shiro. Now he's got plans to eat lunch with like Tohsaka every day so they can exchange information. It's a wise move, but for Tohsaka, or not Tohsaka, for Sakura.
ああ、けどエミヤくん
Tohsaka grins. It's bad when she smiles like that. Oh yeah, it is. I get this bad feeling and hurry to the door, but...
鍛錬っていうのはどうかと思うわよ。時間がいっぱいあるなら他にすることあるんじゃない？例えば同じ屋根の下にいる女の子を構ってあげるとか。
Oh man. I mean, you're right, but... I'm within her range. Within her range. Hit by that attack. That's a critical hit. I'm just saying, man.
何言ってんだバカ。
Who are you calling the idiot here?
さくらはそんなんじゃなくて、俺はシンジがテンパってる間だけうちに止めて様子を見ようって。
Yeah, Sakura's definitely nothing like that, huh?
あら、私はセイバーを少しは休ませてあげなさいって言ったんだけど。意外ね。エミヤくん、女の子って言ったらさくらが一番に上がるんだ。
You are way too cruel, Tohsaka. She grins. You just got outplayed. I can feel my face burning. I feel like my brain is boiling. I half expect steam to come shooting out of my ears.
なんてね。冗談よ。さっきのお返し、気に入った？
Probably not.
お前な、こんなの気に入るやつがいたら神経どうかしてる。
You see, I like it. I think it's funny. Strength escapes from my body. I feel like a marionette whose strings have been cut.
そっか。エミヤくんの弱点だもんね。冗談にしてはタチが悪かったか。
タチが悪いのはトウサカ本人だ。先に戻るからな。
はいはい。どうぞ先に行ってて。私はもうちょっと笑ってるから。
Who just says that? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay and keep laughing at you.
また明日な、トウサカ。
This girl. Tohsaka's hilarious, man. I stalk back into the building, slamming the door behind me. Damn. Tohsaka's starting to have fun by mocking me. What does she mean by me liking it? First of all, what have I done to deserve this kind of treatment? That's how she treats people she likes. I find that hilarious. School ends, and I quickly head home. Since all the after-school clubs have been cancelled, the front gate is crowded with students. I look around, but I don't see Tohsaka. I bet she's already heading to the Mato household.
先輩、誰か探しているんですか？
いや、単に学校を見てただけだよ。こんな風に生徒全員が下校するって珍しいだろ。
Oh, that was a really quick lie, huh?
そうですね。けど、そのおかげで今日は一緒に帰れます。帰りは商店街に寄っていきますか？
Never mind, not really a lie. At first I read that as he was looking for Tohsaka, but that's not necessarily true. Stop by the shopping district. Oh, I bet Ilya's gonna roll up then.
晩飯のおかずを買って帰ろ
I hope so.
う。しばらく藤姉は来れないらしいから、俺とさくらとセイバーの3人分。
I hope we get another scene with Ilya. I say it a lot, but they're some of my favorites. Oh, we're at the park. We stopped by the park after shopping. There's no one here. No children playing around. No silver-haired girl in a coat.
公園、誰もいませんね。ここ、あんまり使われていないんですか？
No, not particularly.
最近はそうみたいだ。俺が子供の頃は日が落ちるまで誰かいたもんだけど、今は休みの日でもない限りこんなもんらしい。
そうですか。なんだか寂しいですね。
Yeah, no kidding. I agree and look up at the sky. The evening sky. The matter red sky without any birds looks lonely, just like the park.
戻るか。せっかくの休みだし、たまにはゆっくりしないとな。
We leave the park. With an energetic reply, Sakura follows after me. Interlude. Again? Jeez. Oh, yeah. But this makes sense. Kind of sucks that there's no Ilya scene today, it seems. but it is what it is. And the girl, Tohsaka Rin, reaches her destination, the Mato household, the workshop of the old family of Magi who came to this town 200 years ago. Even though her family gave them land as a cooperator, the Mato family are outsiders they never concerned themselves with. The two families formed a non-aggression pact and bound themselves to not be concerned with each other's affairs. She walks on, uncaring. There was a pact forbidding the two families to associate. It was broken 11 years ago. It was originally formed by the heads of the two families. They had abided by it for 200 years, though its purpose had been forgotten. Neither Tohsaka nor Mato have obtained the Holy Grail during that time. Their pact was made to obtain the Holy Grail, but since their wish never came true, there's no reason to follow such an ancient pact now. I would have broken it 11 years ago. Somebody, obviously somebody broke it. Probably right before the last Holy Grail War. She strides through the front door without ringing the doorbell. She did not come here as a guest. She's here as a master, to eliminate one of her competitors in this game.
そうなんだけどさ。
Rin searches through the Mato household with a sour expression. The Holy Grail War provided her with the reason to come here. Therefore, she's not bound by the pact between their families. Even though she persuades herself, she cannot change her personality.
そっか。父さんの言いつけを破ったのってこれが初めてなんだ。
She mutters to herself, but it's nothing special. It's not like something important was destroyed by disobeying her father. If she regrets anything.
バカね。どうせ破るのなら、もっと早くに押しかければよかったのに。
There, I guess. It's the remorse towards someone who has endured it for over 10 years.
リン、屋敷の間取りだが空白部分が2つある。
Blank?
え？どこよそれ？1階
？2階からだ。階段にしては狭いが、おそらく地下に通じている。
オッケー。ところでアーチャー、気づいてる？
当然だ。だが害はあるまい。リンが無視する限りは私も気にかけん。
Noticed what?
我々の目的はあの妖怪だからな。
She nods to his words and goes to the second floor. Even though the Red Knight is not visible, he is by her side. She brought him in case of combat, but it seems he takes notice of small details. After traversing the house once, he has come up with a blueprint and can point out where the empty spaces are. Rin has come to realize that Archer is skilled in analyzing the design and structure of objects. Yeah, you could say that. I guess that's what it means by empty space. Like he just ran around the whole house, maybe analyzed it, or scanned it, kind of, like he does other things, and was like, hey, whoa, there's something that should be there.
前から思ってたけど、あなたのそれってアーチャーとしてどうかと思う長所よね。
減らず口は後だ。そら、開いたぞ。暗いから気をつけ。
They stop talking. From the opening in the wall, damp air flows out of the pathway to the basement. The rotten smell is unbearable even for Archer, who has not taken form. Ugh. Oh man, they're in the basement. They come down to a damp, stone paving. Murky, greenish darkness engulfs them. The numerous holes must be to bury dead people. In these stone chambers, the corpses decompose and fade away, leaving the holes empty to await their next occupant. It is like the process of burial above ground. The only difference is the process of decomposition. It is not the soil that decomposes the corpse here, but the writhing mass of worms.
ここがマト、マキリの修練所。
She gets dizzy. It's not because of disgust or chill. It is anger that causes her to shudder, repent, and vomit. This is the training ground. A place like this is used as a training ground. This space containing rotten moisture, the smell of corpses, and infinite worms is the room given to the successor of the Mato family. For some reason, this line just popped back into my head. It didn't make sense to me at first. It's the remorse towards someone who has endured it for over 10 years. I feel like that has to be, regarding Sakura, right? probably. The fact that she feels anger upon seeing this room kind of makes me think she has an idea of what's happening with Sakura. What can one learn in such a place? The only thing here is breeding stock. Worms to breed, worms to raise, worms to train. The people of Mato have trained, urged, and bred their successor with these worms. How different is this world from her own? The cold-hearted ways, the difficulty of the tasks, and the pain of the engraved magic circuit. She's not comparing the severity as the successor. If one is to talk about the burden, sufferings, and the harshness, hers is incomparable. She overcame more difficulties and hardships than anyone. That is why she's a genius magus and an average one, the user of the 5 elements that the Magic Association is accepting as a scholarship student. If one orders her to command the worms in this room, she will be able to create a superior spell in half a year. Rin can create a spell that the successor of the Mato family has been unable to create even after 10 years. But this method of learning is madness. Asked whether she could withstand being violated by these worms, she can only hesitate. The inheritance of the magic here is not a study, but a torture. Yeah, no kidding. I don't even want to imagine having to learn like that. A magic that is taught not to the mind, but to the body. That is how the Makuris pass on their magic, and this is the preference of the old magus, Mato Zouken. Therefore, to be chosen as the successor of the Mato family means to be tortured forever. I can see why that'd mess somebody up.
わかってる。ここに造剣はいないわ。私が来たから逃げたのか、他に本拠地があるのか。どっちにしろこれといった手がかりもないし、長居は無用ね。
She leaves the stone room, suppressing her urge to scream. Her footsteps fade. After that, the worms swarm around what she has vomited out. Ugh, gross. She returns to the ground floor. Her business finished, she makes for the door and...
シンジ、そこにいるんでしょ？隠れても無駄よ。
Yep, I'm gonna get jumped by Shinji. And they unless that's what they noticed, right? That Shinji has a servant again, right? Hopefully it is, or else they might get ambushed here. She calls out to the person hiding in the other secret pathway.
Tohsaka, お前。
さっきまで無視して帰るつもりだったけど気が変わったわ。少し話をしましょう、マト君。
Mato Shinji glares at Rin, but follows her request. He is obviously afraid of her. His fear is not because she's facing a master and her servant, but rather because of the threatening attitude she's taking.
ふざけんなよお前。僕は話なんてない。大体な、遠坂はマトに口出ししない決まりだろ。何勝手にやってきてんだよお前は。
あら、私たち同じ学校の生徒でしょ。遊びに来てもおかしくないと思うけど。
Yeah, sure. It's something like that.
笑わせるな。鍵を壊して入ってきて散々家を荒らしたくせに遊びに来たって。父親が死んでから礼儀も何もなくなったって聞いてたけど本当だな。頭悪いよね。いつから強盗の真似事を始めたんだい、遠坂の人間は。
そう見えた？ならそれも悪くないわね。
I guess not. That's bold.
盗むものなんてここにはないけど、強盗ってあれでしょ？盗みに入った時、見つかったら暴れ回るから強盗っていうのよね。
Oh my god. Tosaka's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat you to a pulp.
ええ。それなら本当に真似をしてもいい気分よ、私。
She is threatening him like crazy right now. She's joking, but she isn't smiling at all. Tosaka Rin is coldly staring at Mato Shinji, who has his back to the wall.
バカ、違うぞ。僕は関係ない。造剣とは関係ない。あのジジイが何をしてるかなんて、僕は今まで知らなかったんだ。
Yeah, I firmly believe him on that. Like, I feel like Shinji would be very upset with that knowledge that Zouken was in this war, right? That he was also in, right? Because, like, I don't know. I feel like he'd probably take that as an insult.
どうだか ならなんでマスターになんてなったのよ、あんたは。
それはだから。
A gritting sound. Even though he's cornered by Tohsaka, he swallows his words. He was willing to tell her anything she wanted to know about the old man. This girl is dangerous right now. There's no telling what she will do if he keeps quiet. In the worst case, she might simply kill him out of rage.
それは
それは
But he can't say it. Telling her why he became a master is like asking for death. Even if...
なら言ってあげる。単に魔術師の真似事をしたかっただけなのよ。あんたは
Dang!
自分は落ちこぼれだから、魔術師にはなれないから、聖杯の力で魔術師になりたかった。
Why is she coming for his life like that?
それ以外に目的なんてない。あんたは無力な自分を隠すために、欲しくもない証を欲しがっただけの臆病者よ。
It's something trivial for others.
Tohsaka、お前。
違う？マトウの家に生まれながら、あなたには魔術回路がなかった。けど、それはあなたのせいじゃないわ。もともとマトウの血は薄れていた。この土地に根を張った時から、探求者としてのマトウの責務は薄れていたのよ。だっていうのに、あなたはそれに固執した。特別であることが特別だなんて勘違いをして、しなくてもいいないものねだりをした。そんなことで魔術回路を得たところで魔術師にはなれないっていうのに、見苦
Sheesh.
しく自分に与えられるべきだった特権にすがったのよ。
She really just laid it all out, huh? He wasn't willing to say it, right? He couldn't say it, and she just said it all.
知ったような口を叩くな。ふざけんなよ。僕が魔術師になれないだと。そんなことお前にどうしてわかるって言うんだ。
わかるわよ。断言してもいいけど、聖杯を得たところであなたは魔術師にはなれない。だって才能がないもの。そのあたりがエリア君とは違うところ。
Dang! She's going off on him. I mean, she's keeping it real, I guess, but golly, comparing him to Emiya too? Yikes. That line right there, that's the difference between you and Emiya-kun. That is... Sheesh. I'm sure he'll take very kindly to that. His jaw drops. That name is unexpected for Mato Shinji. It's fine if Tohsaka Rin opposes him as a master. He expected that. But it cannot be possible for Emiya Shiro's name to come from her lips. He's just an amateur. He isn't from a family of magi, nor is he suited to be a master. It's too much for him to have Saber. So why isn't his name coming out of Tohsaka Rin's mouth?
なんだよ。やめろよな、Tohsaka。なんでなんだってお前がエミヤのことなんて口にするんだよ。
彼があなたより強いから。それに魔術師としての素質もある。マトウシンジにはないものをエミヤシロウは持っている。ええ、あなたと同じようにエミヤ君にも魔術師としての才能はないわ。けど彼には魔術師としてやっていける絶対的な素質がある。それだけは他の誰にも負けない。彼が一番足りうるところよ。
Dang. She just keeps going off on him, and this is clearly Shinji's not happy about this. He's already he already can't stand the fact that he's not a magus, right? But Tohsaka talking about somebody who also does not have the talent, and then saying, but he's more fit, right? Like, I mean, I feel like that's like the ultimate insult for Shinji.
一番だってあいつが笑わせるなTohsaka。あいつにあって僕にないものなんてない。何もないのはあいつの方だ。あいつなんてただ運よくセーバーと契約できただけの野良犬じゃないか。
Shinji's hatred for Shiro must have blown his fears away, as he now faces Rin straight on. The girl sighs and shrugs her shoulders.
そう。これだけ言ってもわからないようじゃ本当に処置なしね。 少しは責任を取らせようと思ったけど、あなたにはその価値さえない。ここで見逃してあげるから、エミヤ君にやられる前に教会にでも逃げ込みなさい。
Jeez. She turns her back on him, telling him she has no business here. She heads for the door, not even bothering to treat Shinji as an enemy.
僕がエミヤに劣るったって。
His voice burns with hatred, but he can do nothing but watch her go. He'll surely be killed if he attacks her here. Even Mato Shinji can see the difference in their powers.
トサカ、お前。
A voice filled with deep resentment.
もうしょうがないな。
She stops and says goodbye to the boy that used to be the successor.
いいわ、最後に教えてあげる。自分以外のために先を目指すもの、自己よりも他者を顧みるもの、そして誰よりも自分を嫌いなもの。
Oh yeah,
これが魔術師としての素
that's
質ってや
Shiro,
つよ。
right?
どんなに才能があったところで、それがないものには到達できないところがある。私だってそんな条件を満たしているやつがいるなんて思ってもみなかった。こればっかりは生まれつき壊れてないとモテない矛盾だから。
Oh yeah, Shiro meets all of those conditions, especially the born broken part. I guess he wasn't born broken, but he was broken pretty fast, huh? He was very young when that incident happened with the fire. And obviously, so now he thinks of others before himself, and aims farthest for others' sake, and hates himself more than anyone. I mean, perfect description of him.
シンジ、あんたは他人を蔑むことで同時に抱かなくてもいい劣等感を抱いた典型よ。自分が好きなあまり周りを下に見たものの見下す相手が上にいるものだからつまらない劣等感にとらわれただけ。
Tohsaka out here doing excellent character analysis.
あなたの中身は空っぽよ。詰まっているように思えるのは本人だけで、正体は風船と一緒。周りの風向き次第で行き着く先なんてくるくる変わる。理解した？そんな男に魔術師なんて務まらないし、サーバントだって従わないわ。
I mean,
ここから先はあなたには関係のない世界よ。麻藤真司がどんなに自分をマスターだと言い張っても、あなたは絶対にマスターにはなれないんだから。
the sound of retreating footsteps. Tohsaka Rin leaves Mato Shinji alone in the dark room. He drops down the wall. Mato Shinji crumbles down like a puppet with its strings cut and keeps laughing.
なんだ、そうか、そういうことか。
His tongue lips over dry lips. A dull sound. The boy smacks his head hard against the wall behind him, as if trying to break his skull.
要するにさ、あいつがいなくなればいいって言うんだろ、トサカ。
Oh lord. That is not at all what she was going for there, but okay. His laughter continues. Oh no. Yikes. Yeah, not quite what Tohsaka meant there.
じゃあ行くぞ、さくら。せーの、じゃんけん。
Man, but that was a... I feel like I didn't have much to say there. Most of what happened in that scene was self-explanatory, but it was interesting, that interlude, right? Like, the utter breakdown of Shinji's entire character right there by Tohsaka, the stream of insults, and the fact that Shinji heard all this and was like, so I just gotta kill Shiro, right? His absolute hatred of Shiro. It's just really coming through. Man. You know, if Shinji wasn't so utterly hateable, I'd feel really bad for him. But I can't say that I do. Like, for the most part. He had horrible circumstances, but then you gotta think about it, like, he endured these horrible circumstances and ended up like he is, right? This pathetic guy who is extremely, like, egotistical, right? But you also have the contrast to him like in contrast to him, you have Shiro, who had horrible circumstances and like is like a good person and has is like because of that, right? Is incredibly selfless, right? To a dangerous extent, but the difference between them couldn't be more clear, but the way they got there is in a lot of ways very similar. So that's why, while on paper, like, Shinji's circumstances weren't really tough. The fact that he had to endure everything he did in that household, the fact that he was born realizing he'd never be a magus, right? He, like, or, you know, found out he couldn't get the magic circuit, he just didn't have the strength, right? Like, it just, the bloodline was fading, right? And I don't know. Instead, he got to where he is today instead of closer to where, like, Shiro is. It's not quite a one-to-one comparison. I'm not going to act like they're perfect foils to each other, but they're pretty good, right? And like, that's kind of like what Tohsaka was saying, and I think that's why he hates Shiro so much, right? Shiro is going through, he's not going through everything Shinji did, but like a lot of things were similar, and he endured it and like grew stronger in a way because of it, right? Whereas Shinji like ended up where he is now, and that's stronger because of that, of what he went through is the last thing I'd like. That's the last way I'd describe him. So like I think that's the like perfect explanation for his hatred towards Shiro, and why when he was brought into it, he suddenly was like revitalized in that conversation, and why like his logical assumption is, well, that must mean I have to kill Shiro, right? Right? Like, if he's the exception, if nobody like him should exist, right? And you know, in his eyes, it's probably the perfect thing to hate, right? And why he'd want to kill him. That makes sense. We'll see if he can get even close to accomplishing that, but Tohsaka sure doesn't seem to think he will. It is hot in my room. Hold on. Good lord. I stick out a clenched fist. Sakura extends an open palm. I have rock and Sakura has paper. Imagine. I look at my fist. I did it again. Why do I always use rock as my first move? Yeah, that seems dumb. Wait, what? The loser has to relax? Dang, I'm throwing out the same move first every time. I'm trying to find a way to lose. If that move keeps losing, I'm using it. Shiro doesn't think that way, of course, but... Sakura skips off to the kitchen. She must be happy that she gets to make dinner all by herself. Literally could not be me. I take off my apron and sit down. I don't know about other people, but cooking dinner seems like a favorite pastime for us. It's not really true for me, but Sakura always wants to cook by herself. That's good in a way, but as her senpai, I can't let her do all the work. So when we're both bored, like today, we fight over who gets to cook. I brew some tea and sit at the table. Saber's sleeping in my room, and Fujini won't be coming since she's working overtime. Sakura and I are the only ones here. Am I watching her because I have nothing to do? Sakura is moving briskly about the kitchen, and she looks like she's having fun. Her familiar hair and her crimson ribbon. She handles the plates. She holds the heavy kitchen knife and places the cabbage on the cutting board. She cuts it with a yell. Sakura tenses up every time she starts to cut something, but she keeps cooking like she's used to it after that. I watch it absent-mindedly. The evening living room. A daily life here with Sakura, where time passes slowly. I suddenly realize how hard this life is to obtain. It must be because I'll be going to battle at night. Finally realize how important this time is for me. I don't know what Mato Zouken is planning, but I won't let him touch her. I've come in contact with Sakura too many times the past few days, causing me to be bewildered about her change. Is that your reasoning? Like, how are those so related? I thought I was confused by her femininity. Femininity. Why can't I say that word? Femininity. Femininity. It just sounds like I'm saying, like, in too many times. But I'm not. Femininity. Yeah, no, I'm not. But that's wrong. I'm confused. It started long before that. I hear her humming in the kitchen. These simple, trivial things are important to me. I pour myself a third cup of tea and watch the red-tinted scenery. Maybe there's some alcohol in the tea, because the passing time feels slow and tender. Ooh, that boy getting drunk. Somebody call the police. Well, that went fast. Are we already about to go out? The town falls asleep. It's just past 10 o'clock, but it seems like it's midnight. It must be because of all the unexplained comas. There are no lights and nobody is walking about. Let me go ahead and save here. We might wrap it up here if they're about to go out. Bookmark.
あの影を探し出し調査する。アーチャーのマスターも無茶を言ってくれますね。
Yeah, I think they're about to go out. I want to advance past this because things could take a while here. I really don't like leaving it off here, but I'm recording while tired again, and so I don't think I have it in me to go that much longer, even if I would like to. One of these days, I need to just make a nice beefy episode where I get like 2 full nights in, right? 2 nights, 1 day. Kind of flip it around so episodes are ending after things get crazy. But it won't be this episode, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. Again, sorry to end it here. I really hate doing that, but here we are. Hopefully next episode will be recorded on Sunday. That's the next day I could realistically record, I think. Which is 2 days from when this is being recorded, so probably expect it 2-3 days after this is uploaded, if that's when I record. Hopefully it is, but either way, let's move into my thoughts about the episode itself. This was another really good episode. It wasn't quite as crazy as last episode in a lot of ways, but this episode had some really interesting things in it. So first of all, we had, obviously, the scene against when we fought that shadow, whatever it was. My best guess is some kind of embodiment of the Grail, but I have a bit of evidence for that guess, but I'm not, like, fully confident in it right now, so it's not like if it was revealed that it wasn't, I'd be like, super surprised or something, you know? But I could see it. Feels like there is some evidence towards it. Based on Zouken's reaction and what Shiro saw alone, right? I feel like there's a very strong reason to believe that it either is the embodiment of the Grail or has very close ties to it. And we know it's not Assassin, so... Right, and that's one of the things I was suspecting, is that, like, pretty early on, that it was not Assassin. And frankly, now that I think about it, when we saw the one scene with Castor, wasn't it there? Didn't we see it in that scene? I assumed that was Assassin at the time, but that seems to be wrong. But it seems Zouken got to the body, so I don't know what it would have been doing there. I guess, again, if it is like the embodiment of the Grail or something, it could explain it. Because that pond, or that pool, is always where it shows up so far. So it would make sense for it to be at the Ryudo Temple. But anyways, we don't have that much evidence. The shadow itself is very interesting, though. The way it's draining people of their magical energy, what it did to Shiro, right? The absolute horror it gave everybody in that moment, that brief moment it was there, you know? Interesting stuff. Of course, then we saw Zouken get away and then use his powers to form a new body, and kind of learned more about how that works. Confirmed that assassin was summoned by him, which seemed really obvious, but now we have definitive proof. But that was just kind of like a lot of interesting lore, plus that confirmation that assassin is indeed his servant. After that, just kind of got some stuff at the house, some more fun scenes at the school with Tohsaka. And then obviously the next big scene is the next interlude. A lot of the interludes always drop some crazy information. I love seeing the interludes, man. Oh, they always have something interesting, especially in this route. None of the interludes have really failed us in this route. That interlude where Tohsaka just goes off on Shinji. That was crazy. She went crazy. She was like insulting him and perfectly explaining why he's like not a magus, never will be, and why Shiro is stronger than him. And I literally like 10 minutes ago went into depth about that scene, right? And why I feel like Shinji would react that way so viscerally, right? While he was like scared to death of Tohsaka, but was like so angry regarding Shiro that he was willing to like fight back in a bit, right? And seems to have some plan regarding Shiro now, right? Like, you know, like defeating Shiro. Very interesting stuff. But this episode just feels like it's set up so much like potential for the future, right? So I'm super excited to see what it's got to bring. I already said when I will hopefully record again soon. Hopefully, or like next time I'll be able to record. But hopefully I'll be able to record again soon. As always, I love this route. I love this game. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. I hope you guys are as well. But until then, peace.